Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to one of the last videos of 2016. This is the PC Gaming Tech Awards 2016. Hopefully I'll be doing this annually. It is the very first year that I've been doing this, but this is basically a collation of everything I've done this year into one small, hopefully less than 10-minute video. It'll go over the best things that I've tested, so whether it's a case, a peripheral, a processor, graphics card, monitor, doesn't matter, everything pretty much comes into one category or another, and I'll be giving you the best of each category, and then one final product of the year, that if I could choose one thing I've tested this year to keep, that's what it would be. And to kick us off, we're going to start with the PC component side of things with cases, as enclosures are the most important thing aesthetically when it comes to a build. It's what everyone sees, it's the thing you've got to lug around whenever you want to move it, and it's the thing you've got to open up every single time you want to make a modification to your PC. And choosing a case for Case of the Year was really easy for me, and the best case was the tempered glass Evolv 80X from Phanteks. It's by far the most beautiful case I've tested. It's built like an absolute tank. If you do get fingerprint marks on them, they actually come off. Even if you get it on the front aluminium panels, they seem to wipe off fairly easily. It's incredibly easy to build in, but it just looks amazing. As if you sort of put it anywhere with any reflections at all, my god, it looks fantastic. And whenever you do want to upgrade something, it's very easy to get the side panels off, despite it being glass, and it's very easy to make modifications to. And as far as runners-up go, I really did like the Corsair 600C, but that doesn't really look as good aesthetically. And if you are looking for more of a budget case, then the Phanteks P400S is still my favourite budget case. Although the most recent case I've tested, and you haven't actually seen the review of that yet, is the Master Box 5T from Cooler Master. That also comes very close and is very easy to build in and is a great case for first-time builders. Keeping with the components theme, the next topic is the best processor. And for CPUs, there's always plenty of choices, but it's very stagnant at the moment, with Intel pretty much leading in terms of raw performance. That may change next year with Ryzen. Of course, we've got Kaby Lake on the horizon, so I'll hopefully be checking that out when it does finally arrive. But until then, we have pretty much got Skylake processors. And if you are serious about gaming, these are probably the ones to go for. You've got a couple of AMD ones that are very good wildcard choice, but generally speaking, and I agree, the general consensus is to go with an i5 6600K, and this is my CPU of the year, despite the fact that it did now come out almost 2 years ago. In terms of raw performance, nothing really comes close to beating it for gaming, unless you spend more money, but then that doesn't help you in gaming. So the i5 6600K is my CPU of the year. Moving on to our final component category, it is the best graphics card. And actually, for me, there was only one graphics card this year that kicks serious ass. Yes, if you look at the graphics card market, pretty much everything does neatly steps up as you spend more money, the performance increases, but there is one card that pretty much set the trend, and one card to beat, and one card that I pretty much recommend to everyone, and that is without a shadow of a doubt the AMD RX 480. AMD upped their game significantly with a card that beat the GTX 1060 in DX12 titles at launch. While the two of them are definitely neck and neck, and the 1060 does beat the 480 in certain titles, the fact that the 480 can come with 8GB of VRAM for less than a 1060, it is a very appealing option. Yes, the 1060 now does come in a cheaper 3GB variant, but personally I'd rather go with a 4 or 8GB RX 480. Moving away from the component side of things then, it's time to talk peripherals. And before we get started, let's say that there are 3 topics: the best headset, the best keyboard, and the best mouse. And let's make this very clear that while Corsair do sponsor the channel, they have nothing to do with this video, and this is purely down to my personal preference. And the best mouse is the Corsair M65 Pro. I've been using Corsair M65, and I went out and bought one since the original M65 launched many years ago. I've only since replaced that with the M65 Pro as my daily driver, and it is so good. It really is fantastic for first person shooters. I've really become addicted and got so used to using that sniper button. It really is very useful in shooter titles. The RGB lighting on it is pretty perfect. It does sync up with other Corsair peripherals if you want to go down that route, and just generally it's a fantastic mouse. But there have been so many this year, and the one that comes so close to it but just doesn't quite win because it's more expensive with a feature that a lot of people probably don't want is from Myonix, and it's the Naos QG. And this is a mouse with a biometric sensor built into it. The review of that is coming very shortly. I've written the full review though on Trusted Reviews. I'll leave that in the description. And as long as you are interested in going down the route of having like your heart rate monitored, it is pretty much the perfect mouse. It's just very expensive, and if you don't want to use any biometric information, you are paying for something that you're not going to use, as it's over £100, and for a wired mouse, obviously this is pretty expensive. Moving on then to the best keyboard, and again this is from Corsair, and it is the Corsair K70 RGB Rapidfire. It uses the Cherry MX speed switch, which I've become very accustomed to, and despite the fact that I've used so many different keyboards this year, this is the one that I do keep coming back to. But I do have a close second place, and it is an RGB keyboard from Xtrfy with a really stupid name that's hard to remember. I'm actually using it now, and I genuinely prefer the RGB lighting on this to any of Corsair's stuff. I think that while it's less customizable, I think the effect really does look pretty good. It doesn't use cherry switches though, so this may put some people off. Review of it is coming very soon, but it's a very honourable mention because it is a fantastic keyboard and does come in around about £40–50 cheaper than the Corsair K70 Rapidfire. Moving across then to the best headset, and when I say the best headset, this is just generally talking price performance and my favourite headset. It doesn't have to be the best sounding headset, and I've gone for the HyperX Stinger, as for around about £30, $30, it's a steal, it really is. Build quality is pretty damn good for this price, sound quality is outstanding for this price, and there aren't really any features that I would want at this price point that don't feature, other than maybe a detachable microphone. But if you do want that, you can look at the Cloud 2, also from HyperX, that does offer similar sound quality but does have slightly better build quality and a removable mic. But again, there have been loads of very good headsets this year. The one that I've been using at the moment is a Astro one. Full review of that will come very soon. It's the A40, and that also sounds fantastic, but it is quite a lot more expensive. Now our next category is the best monitor, and I've split this into two because otherwise it would just be stupid as there's too much disparity between a budget monitor and a premium monitor. And the best budget monitor has to be, without a shadow of a doubt, the LG MP68. This does come in a variety of sizes, but it's an IPS monitor that genuinely blows me away every time I look at it. Sure, it's only 1080p, but if you get it in the 23-inch form factor that my sample was, it looks absolutely outstanding. It even comes pre-calibrated. It goes up to 75 Hz if you enable FreeSync mode, and there's very few flaws with it. The main one really being that it doesn't support the BIOS, and you have to turn off FreeSync in the menu in order to do that, but then you've got to plug that in with something else in order to access the menu, and it's very silly, but that's genuinely the main downside that I have with that monitor, which is definitely saying something. So if you're after a budget monitor, the LG MP68 is definitely my monitor of the year. But if you have a bit more money to spend, or I should say a lot more money to spend, the best luxury monitor, the best premium monitor out there is the Asus PG348Q. A lot of people were deciding between this and the Acer X34 this year, and let me just say that in pictures I think the X34 looks better, but in real life I think the Asus one actually does look better. I'm talking about the design, by the way, not the actual image quality, because both of them have fantastic image quality. They pretty much tick all the boxes. They're ultra wide, 34 inches, they're curved, they're IPS, 100 Hz, and G-Sync technology. So if you do have a lot of money to spend on a monitor, both of them are great options. But my personal favourite was the Asus PG348Q, as I preferred the design, and personally I thought it was the better monitor, and it did also have a better user interface if you do wish to go into the menus, but both are very fantastic. Moving on then to the penultimate category, and this is the wildcard category. So it doesn't necessarily have to be PC orientated, it could be a phone, it could be any laptop, it could be anything really that fits into the wildcard category, which is basically anything. And for me, actually, it is the Xbox One S. I went out and bought one at launch and I haven't looked back since. As far as the console goes, obviously the performance is fairly limited in games compared to a high-end PC, but we're talking about a product here that has a UHD Blu-ray player for less than a standalone UHD Blu-ray player. Crazy, I know. Add to the fact that you can stream everything you want to in 4K, with more and more services coming out at least next year, so in 2017. And of course you can play all those Xbox exclusives that are currently unavailable on the PC. So if you're looking at picking up a console to go alongside your PC, then the Xbox One S is a solid choice, at least if you do have a 4K TV. And so, with that, it leaves only one category remaining. The PC-centric Product of the Year 2016. And this could be anything, could be a motherboard, could be a mouse, could be a case, could be a monitor. There are so many different choices and the criteria is really simple. It doesn't matter how much it costs, it's just got to be something that far excels in its category versus pretty much everything else, and is the best thing on the market, in my opinion, that came into fruition in 2016. And it was very tight, but the winner is easily, without a shadow of a doubt, the Corsair Polaris MMO RGB mouse mat. No, I'm joking. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, the Asus PG348Q. As this is simply the best monitor on the market, and I know I've said this before and I've said it again, it is pretty much neck and neck with the Acer X34. So if you're offended when I say the Asus is the product of the year and you'd rather it was the X34, then sure, take that. Both of them are fantastic. But for me, the design of it was so good and looked so good on my desk, and every time I played a game on that, I said it in the review, it made me remember why I got into PC gaming in the first place. You get a game that supports that resolution and graphics card that can drive the display, and there is nothing else I would rather play my games on. It completes the experience, and it really does make the game that much better. That, yes, it's a lot of money, but if you can justify it, you really won't look back. And there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been useful. Let me know down below what your favourite product of the year was. Let me know if you think I'm right, if I'm wrong. This is, I like to think, a discussion, so do let me know down below what your favourites are. Do subscribe for more videos just like this. As I say, hit the like button, share this video with anyone you think might appreciate it, and follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those good places, and I will leave all the links to all of these products down below. A massive thank you once again, and a thanks to Corsair for sponsoring the channel, and to every single manufacturer that has sent anything out this year for review. It's really appreciated. Thanks to you guys for making this a successful year. Let's make 2017 even better. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.